All right, so how's everybody doing? It comes up with the little help screen every time I press that button because it's key to the same thing. Let's make sure everything's going good sound-wise. Let's go to stream real quick, check it out. It's a little bit lagged, so or not lagged, but it's a little bit slower because I have a pretty big delay on it. Oop, oh no, I might be really low. I might be really low. I might be really low to you guys. Hold on. Let me turn up the volume here. You might hear double a little bit, but volume's up 100%. I don't know. Can you guys hold on? Oop, you may have heard tapping. I don't know. Can you guys hold on? Just trying to work out the sound here. Coming through real low. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Maybe not everything's plugged in quite perfectly. Is that better? Oh, I think that's a lot better. The cord was a little loose. Hold on, let's see. Is that better? Oh, I think that's a lot better. The cord was a little No, it's not much better. How are we going to fix this? Okay, so hold on. For some reason I'm coming through real low. Yeah, one more thing to do to try to fix it. Actually, what volume do I have it on my side? Oh, okay, now it seems a lot better. Okay, it seems a lot better. Okay. If you guys having trouble, let me know. Alright, so we'll get straight to it. We're doing EVE Online. I think we're going to probably try to do it on Fridays. I'm going to try to do EVE Online on Fridays. We started a brand new character for, on the first episode. And then we're on the second episode. And we've reached the first, we're going to do all the missions. So let's go ahead and do them. Now, as someone pointed out at the end of the last one, I couldn't quite catch it. I think I couldn't quite catch it because I have kind of a big delay so that it doesn't kind of stutter. But they brought up a good point. You don't have to do any of these in order. You don't have to do them in order. I don't think that even the military and advanced military, you don't have to do them in order. But some are a little more helpful to do in certain orders, but it is not necessary. Exploration, I typically advise everyone to do first, just because you typically, it doesn't involve anything that you may want in something else. I think one of them gives you, I don't remember exactly which, but I know business, I believe, gives you a venture. Industry ends up giving you a venture. So you may want to have certain things before. Now, we've been setting our guy on skills, so he's building up skills. He's building up skills. Hold on. Mostly the military skills, because that's mostly what we're going to use him for. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's not waste too much more time, kind of just explaining ourselves here. All right. Also, if you maybe have missed, I think it's still pretty new, but I got new channel art. I got new art. You might notice the different picture. So we call it. It's still pretty fresh. We call it Absolute Void Zero is who I got the commission from. I have him credited in the about if you want to check for the name or spelling of that. So I wanted to give another shout out to them real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with exploration. So once we're done with these, if we still have time, I have a few ideas what we're gonna do. I recommend doing these. If you're new to the game, I 100% recommend doing these. Another thing I recommend is Project Discovery, which we can do, but we're not going to worry about doing that right now. Because it's one of those things you want to do on your own. You don't necessarily, it might not be fun to super much watch. So let's go ahead and undock. This is going to be, I think, most useful to, especially if you guys showing up. If you're newer to EVE, this is going to be a lot better at showing you how to get some of the mechanics than it is necessarily going to be doing other things. Like it's going to be, we had our mining thing on because I was doing a little bit of mining. Now, funny enough, you see Warzone Hunter. I actually passed that guy earlier. Hold on, let's close that. I don't want to. I passed that guy earlier, mining. I could actually attack him because he has the suspect flag right here. You see? I could go after him. Now he's gone now, but I could theoretically go after him. So I think we need to scan down a place, don't we? We're not scanning down a place yet. Should pay there should be already a place that on our scanner here. So consider this a little bit of a tutorial. It's going to be mostly useful to you people, who are just starting out. But, you guys might want to see it. Now, actually, there's a fun trick that I did. You can actually do the starter missions at every different starter site. If you can deal with doing the same missions over and over, that is a pretty good way of making money in virtual total safety. You are not safe at 100% safe. You are virtually safe. You also get ships, so you're technically getting paid pretty well. If you're just starting out, you're getting paid pretty well. So let's go ahead and go over there. If you're like doing ice mining and stuff like that already, then don't necessarily think that you're going to be pulling in ice mining profits, but you are going to if you're just starting out, be able to pull in a lot of profit, and also you're going to get faction relation up with your faction. Just watch out for derived faction relation with the other ones, because you could get yourself in a situation where you show up in Galente space if you're Caldari, or if you're Amar, right, and you show up in Minmatar space, you could end up getting shot by the gate guns. The gate guns are pretty much what you see us warp through. I don't think we've gone through a gate yet because we're still showing off the tutorial stuff. And as you've noticed, we've joined the corporation. Now we do have a narrative going on. I know a lot. There's not much RP kind of narrative that not a lot of people do, but I like to have at least one going on in my gameplay. So we got Omar. It's pretty much, I'm going to call him Omar because that's pretty much similar. It's like Omar. It's like, imagine saying Omar E. So Amara, Omar, Amare. It's an Irish word, if I remember, Irish Gaelic word. Because part of the problem is that, and our name, I love using the name for one of my characters, which you don't see at the moment, but he's going to be running our corporation, Drum, right? Which is pretty much where Drummond, you get Drummond from, or the name Drummond from, is Drum, which is Druim, I think, which is the name of our main guy. And then the only other name I could think of, which is technically not a name, it's a word, right? Let's go ahead, get granted item. So they're going to give us the Bantam. We're going to switch over to the Bantam real quick. Actually, if we don't need the Bantam, we're not going to risk losing it. Okay, so we call it following awards. It's a granted item. No more restrictions. I think I can just keep driving around in this. Yeah, Corvette. So your starter ship's a Corvette. Just make sure you can actually... Oh, not complete mission yet. Just make sure you can actually still do that. So we got a Bantam there. We're going to just undock. Corvette is basically free. I don't think it's free, but it's basically free. By that I mean is I don't know how many times you can use it, because I've never really tested it. Because if I did, I feel like a GM, because they have like the basically people who are watching to make sure people aren't exploiting the system. I think in different kind of ways. I don't know exactly how the ancient the ancient ones, or whatever you want to call them, work, but I don't think that they would take too kindly to seeing just how many you could spawn. I actually think the campaign is a little different because you get a little campaign stuff here, and it says kill 10 NPCs, but I was on my other guy earlier. It seemed to be different. Okay, they're going to go through... I'm not going to necessarily read all of this stuff because I can kind of explain it to you. But basically, you have to be within like 2,500 meters from a thing to actually be able to interact with it. As far as as far as if you're wanting to pick something out of the container, so you can't like, just pick up something out from a container very far away. And actually, another thing where I see a lot of you guys flying around in suspect tags. Hold on, I'll explain. You might notice it get a little choppy. I just want to make sure I check everything all right on the stream. There we go. It's still holding up pretty okay. All right, so another reason why I see a lot of you guys flying around in things with suspect tags when you're starting out, a lot of you new bros or new guys, is because you're probably picking stuff out of containers that are not yours. If something says it belongs to another person, but they've abandoned it, like they've just walked away from it for that second, until it's listed as abandoned, right? Until it's actually abandoned, according to the game, you'll get a suspect flag. And now that's not the same as criminal. You're not going to get attacked outright. Okay, let's activate the next gate. You're not going to get attacked outright, but you will get attacked. You will get attacked if by other players who may want to just who want to kind of get rid of you. If you have something very valuable and they're like, well, I can shoot this guy and nothing happens, so they're gonna, you're putting yourself in danger there. And in fact, actually, that might be something I might do with him. Just watch out if you're doing suspect hunting, because unfortunately, a lot of them, you have to be careful because you really don't want to just suspect hunt newbies. Oh, this is an example of a data site here. That's basically what it's letting us know. Something like this array here. Typically, some will look like data sites will look similar to that. It's pretty much walking us through a guided tour. Relics. So this would be like an example of something like if you're expecting a relic to find in a relic scanner. And pretty much activate it as soon as it will let us. Okay, activate gate. So there's also suspect hunting, which you may want to do if you want to get into PvP, but don't want to commit, hugely into it. If you don't want to commit way into PvP until you're really comfortable with it, then suspect hunting is a good option. Be careful, because people know this to some extent and will trap you. So, ooh, did we miss something? Read mission for general details. Okay, hold on. It just needed to have it finish. I think it was going to tell us something about gas sites. So that's a gas site. Pretty much that. Now, okay, so if you're starting off and you're doing exploration, gas sites aren't necessarily for you. Gas sites are if you're exploring as a miner, because then you can pick up gas mining and stuff like that. You don't go to them until you actually have something to mine it with. You won't start off with mining equipment for gas mining. So don't get caught up. Don't go there and then have someone who's been gas mining there for hours suddenly go, oh, a visitor, and then blow you up. So the world of Eve is really cool and is really great, but scary at times. So, be careful about that. Also, recommendation since this is kind of, I'm just going to set this as, basically it's a newbie stream right now. It's basically a newbie stream. If you're new to the game, this is mostly for you. If you're a newbie. I'm trying to think of any more useful tips while we go through here showing all the data sites. Because it's pretty much going to show also what we're going to go through. I'll try to keep on topic too with everything going here. So as you see, now you'll notice you'll get rewards like 121,000 ISK, and then bonus like that based off time and time you complete it. Generally don't take a mission unless you have time to go back and finish it. Just general rule, don't do that. Don't miss out on bonus rewards, because sometimes you might even get a mission where it won't give you money outright or ISK. It'll give you a reward that's an item and then give you money only in the bonus. So just be kind to yourself, and if you're going to commit to a mission, commit to it all the way. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. Okay, so we're going to go and throw this on us. But suspect hunting is a neat little trick. There are no free slots. Oh, we need to move one of the guns off. Oh yeah, because I think we put actual real guns on this little Corvette. Yeah, we put 2 electron blasters. We don't have the civilian. Do we have the civilian Gatling? No, we took off the civilian. We totally replaced the civilian Gatling. Do we have another ship? Kosogo. So Kosogo is where civilian gallant. That's where we started in the tutorial, I think. And I think we flew here. So I think we left it behind, unfortunately. So we may lose some money on once this thing gets destroyed. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but you're gonna have 2 advanced warfare ones where ships are gonna get destroyed. There's no avoidable way other than not doing the mission. For 2 missions, you're gonna have ships get destroyed. But I will show you a trick once we get there. And it will help you out. Oh, it should have some weapons, just in case. Some ammunition, because someone might be sneakily watching this and then we call it intending to just grief me, which hopefully that's not the case. Not that that's gonna matter if they're in whatever we call it, but fortunately in a Corvette you lose nothing, like literally nothing, if by dying in a Corvette, other than whatever you put on it yourself. It's virtually meaningless. And also, fortunately, within the first 30 days of joining, right, Eve, generally they don't want you to get ganked. So they'll generally not let, like, how would I... Oh, I think I forgot the actual probes. Let's dock real quick. If you're in one of the starter, like, you're in Acavanius, and I believe if you're in Kosogo, there's 3 for every faction. There's 3... start planets and 3 career planets, right? Or career systems, or whatever you want to call them. That within their first 30 days of play, they really don't want you to get destroyed, right? So you may be able to kind of appeal, I don't know if you can appeal to get anything back, but you could kind of do something to go, hey, that guy's just griefing newbies. It's not good for anybody to just grief newbies because they don't have anything. Now, hold on. If we want to... And, you ultimately want newbies to kind of like the game or get into the game and like the game, because otherwise, if you're a griefer, it's very easy to know why you want people to get in the game, because then you can grief them when they have something more worth taking from them, right? Or it will be more fun, taking it from them. But because Corvettes literally have no value. Now, that's one thing you can do is travel with Corvettes, because they'll lose nothing. Now, some people are out for kill mail. Kill mail is something we'll explain when we get to the military. When we get to the military thing. Let's see. Let's scan down for cosmic signatures. My recommendation is use pinpoint. Pinpoint is it's not exactly as like when it's saying pinpoint, like as you can see. It doesn't mean that it's small. You can go down to here and then pretty much scan the entire area. The reason why is because sometimes you have verticality. Now, I do remember, I would credit him if I knew, but I was watching some guy. I really wish I remembered who his name was, but this is someone else's information that they let me know of, that you can only spawn within 10 AU, which is, I think, light. I think that's light. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I've taken any science class. Of an orbital body, so it can't spawn that far up or far away from everything else. There's a limit. Let's move over this way. Analyze. I think we're going for a data site, right? But don't use that to kind of mess with other people. Generally, if you get griefed in this game, if you get griefed in this game, it's all part of the game. Don't get upset about it. My recommendation, don't get salty about it. It's just it's either gonna happen or you're just gonna get lucky and it not happen. But it's generally it's either that you were lucky that it didn't happen, or it just hasn't happened yet. Don't take it really, really, really personal. Like, even ironically, people who gank other people get ganked themselves oftentimes, and they actually have to get destroyed. Fun fact is, you might go, oh, well, they won't attack me. They'll get destroyed by Concord. Not the case. They'll definitely do it. Because if you're carrying, let's say, 1 billion ISK worth of stuff, right, that is worth destroying your ship and losing a ship that costs nothing, right, comparatively. Let's say it costs 1 million ISK, just for sake of argument. they can destroy. They'll have no problem destroying your ship because they'll get way more. They'll get way more out of what you're carrying, even if it destroys. Even if they don't even get half your stuff that you dropped. Right? I believe I don't remember if blueprints destroy on destruction of the ship. I don't remember exactly. But pirating is a legitimate part of the game just as much as anything else. Don't assume that when I'm mentioning that I don't think pirates should have their day. They definitely have have a right to having fun. But just my recommendation is my recommendation. Did we? Hold on. My recommendation is leave the first 30 days. If you look in and someone says first 30 days, leave them alone. Leave them alone, preferably. Is they have to let them like the game, and then when they like the game, right, you may have someone that you can kind of challenge with over time, like kind of cat and mouse. But if it's within the first 30 days, yeah, so that'd be my recommendation. If it's within the first 30 days. Okay, so if you want to know what we're doing, we're hacking. So now we got lucky with this, just running into the system core. I don't know if there is a firewall even that we can run into on these early containers. Let's take the proof of discovery. Normally loot would be in there, but it's just the tutorial stuff. But if you guys have any questions, let me know too. I'm just breezing over kind of the gist of the knowledge I have to give newbies. Any newbie can do well in this game. If generally on two conditions. A, you are safe yourself, right? Which means going to and using all resources available to you. There's gate check. If you're new, look up Eve gate check. I don't know if that's exactly the name, but if you put that into your search browser, whichever search browser you use. We call it you're almost guaranteed that you're going to see the same site. Eve gate check. Let's drop that off. So that was giving an example of a data site, and that will be probably the best resource for newbies to know, because what it's going to tell you is who died based off of using statistics from zKillboard, which is the next site I will recommend to check out. Now we need to do the same thing with relics. Let's go ahead and do that. Now all we need to do is just retool, get the relic scanner to replace that, or take that off first. Now I'm going to actually, drag that into item hanger, and then move these are stack all. Also right click stack all saves you so much time. Right click on your kind of just in the menu here, stack all. You will thank me. Trust me. You're especially if you do some if you're have a bunch of different resources and tons of stuff. You can also repackage like this. You can repackage. We don't necessarily care about repackaging right now, but what repackage will do is you can then stack turrets. So you might have tons of these, right, sitting in your inventory. Repackage, stack all, you have one, and it'll tell you a number on the bottom right. That's gonna be useful to you, I think. Okay. Well, I keep wanting to press complete mission. That'd be kind of funny in real life to have someone go, "Yep, okay, now I did that job." It's like, you haven't even left yet. I really doubt it. Definitely did it. I don't think so. But so there's kind of protected planets. If you check the Eve site, you'll see protected planets. If you're a newbie, I recommend looking at them. Protected planets just mean that if you're getting griefed, as soon as you undock at the very start, if you can't even start the game for some reason, they can help you out. I think it's only the starter world and the career worlds. I don't think anywhere else. And I think that you have to be within your first 30 days of play. If you've been playing the game a long time, I don't know. I don't know if they'll help you out. They might go, "Well, you kind of knew that this could happen." I'm not entirely sure. So let's go down scanner. You got probe scanner, you got directional scanner, and solar system. Let's show off the directional scanner real quick. Directional scanner is going to be really safe to you at certain times. Now, I believe you can pop this out. I've actually never really It's going to sound like a cardinal sin to some people, but I don't really mess around too much with a directional scanner. I know that sounds terrible, but you can pop it out and everything like that. But I don't typically, I don't do a lot of exploration in wormholes, which would be where D-scans really come in handy. And I generally use outside materials to kind of know, right? Like I look up, I look up ZKill board and go, hey, someone's died there. Maybe I shouldn't go. Yeah, I focus on prevention, not curing, not necessarily curing the problem. I prevent the problem from happening as best as I can. And ZKill board, now ZKill board feeds into gate check, I think, for Eve. It feeds into each other. So it gets statistics and go, how many people were killed at the gate? Basically at the door. If it says tons of people were killed, you know that you're in trouble. Now, you can use the map, the in-game map, to find this out as well. As we're flying, let's go ahead and show you out. So if you go to Airkeel right here, right? Okay, so we're at the Relic training site. And you see how it says one jump right there? So now you can go up here. Go to, if I remember correctly, the personal, no. It's been a long time. 9 pounded. Oh, this is color by. I don't think that's actually. Hold on. Well, I think the map looks a little different for him. I don't know why. Personal sovereignty? No. Is it NPC activity? Nope. It's the geography and statistics. Okay. Average pilots in space last 30 minutes. So this is going to show you average pilots in space. So the average pilots in here, 30. 5 pilots in Ruvus. 22 pilots. You know, it's going to tell you how many jumps were, like, how many jumps have, that's how many jumps are far away. Then you can go to security stats is important. We'll get to that later. Average dog pilots can be good. But we want, for newbies, you want ships destroyed in last hour. Now, ignore the starter area because you're going to have 2 ships guaranteed to die for everyone who starts the game. So that could be, it's very likely 60 people started the game, or a little past 60 people, because it's 133. It might also count, people getting destroyed. So generally, it's best to go look at escape pods destroyed if you're looking at starter areas. And as you can see, virtually none. Nobody's been potted here. Absolutely no one. So there is no one who's been potted. This is what I would call relatively safe, right? One pod has been killed here. NPCs will typically not target your pod. They typically will not. I don't know. I think the only time I've ever gotten destroyed by NPCs was in the starter missions. There are incursions and stuff that you could have that happen, but generally that's not going to be in this kind of area. And with this character, obviously, we haven't gone through anything. They're totally new. And if you wonder where we have some of the extra money from, it's a mixture of there's the corporation balance, and in order to do these streams to help do the project discovery, so they have a little bit of money while we're streaming. I have to do that there. Now you also get these little things up here that can help you out. Your little hot bar. You got open cargo, orbit. Now you can change these defaults. Depending on your weapons, I change them. The reason why is because we want to sit possibly within optimal range, and if the other person has really short weapons, you could even just go off almost close to your fall off range. If that means that the other person's off their fall off range. So, there we go. Let's go and do this little hacking real quick. To be honest, this might be this activity will be mostly relevant to people who are doing. I reached the core, but I went back into a firewall. So just click it and get rid of it. You have this little thing down here. You can end up taking damage or certain thing, or the container exploding or things like that if you fail. Generally not something absolutely terrible, fortunately, with this starter stuff. Now watch out for ghost sites. Ghost sites, basically, I believe it was ghost sites. I might be mixing up the names, but ghost sites, I believe, are the ones that explode and can get you. if you get him wrong. So be careful. But generally, that little map tip will save you so much. So as you can see, no one's been potted. Tadaki would be considered dangerous. Because if one person's been potted, that means somebody's killed somebody in the last hour. Somebody is out for people, basically. Now, I'm almost sure that some of these characters don't realize that they have a suspect tag on them. I'd be willing to bet that many of these people don't understand that they could get shot. If you have a suspect tag or criminal tag, you can be shot with no repercussions. Concord, which is basically space police, will not come and help you. Let's request the next mission. Okay, they're going to give us the heron. We can go to proof of discovery gas. We just need to go there, pretty much. We're going to get the heron. Let's go. So we don't really need anything special. Just undock and go there. Exploration, again, as you can see, you basically can just do it all in your starter Corvette. That's why I recommend it first. Just because then you learn all the controls and everything. Let's see. And honestly, it'd be helpful to learn all the button commands. But sometimes I just like to not have to touch the keyboard. The keyboard commands are probably better, to be honest, but let's launch some probes. Find out where those gas sites are. Probably one of these. Oh, actually, you know what? We actually scanned a little bit far away from that one. That one would have been right there. Oh, this is a cosmic signature. I don't know if that... Oh, no, that's just a one we don't know yet, right? Yeah, hold on. Let's go back over here. Move that over there. Tighten up that scan radius. Now, it can move. Sometimes they'll move as you learn more about it. It'll go, hey, you've done this, or what do you call it? Or you've seen it, but it was actually not there. It was a little bit actually up north. If you keep scanning up that way, you might find it. Things like that. Something's going on with that gas site. Is that a gas site? We're going to a gas site, right? That gas site is not liking us. Maybe it's up and forward. Analyze. Maybe we have to get even closer. I really probably shouldn't just be flying off into the middle of nowhere here. But the two most dangerous points in the game are when you're undocking and when you're, I think we scanned more. Asteroid belt, not really what we wanted. Another data site. You know what? Let's just try scanning something else entirely. I might be ignoring something it told me to do. Oh, gas site key. Hold on. Isn't it wanting me to have a gas site key? That might be the problem. They might not be letting me... Hold on. Let's dock. I think gas site, you need a gas site key, and you go to a acceleration gate, maybe. Someone else has done them. Hold on. Let's see. Gas site. Yep, gas site passkey. We forgot gas site passkey. Let's go back and get it. You also check your assets, where you left them by checking this. I think I showed that already a little earlier. Let's see. All right, so some more tips for new people, if you're new to the game. If you're new to the game, my recommendation is to stay in high sec until you know what you're doing, and then move on to and move on down lower securities as you feel comfortable. Low sec, I believe there's gate guns, but no Concord. I don't know. I don't really do ganking. So I really don't. I don't really. Me and Concord are on nice terms typically. Generally, all I like to do. There's basically I tend to like to do either ratting, mining, industry, which is building structure, like building things like that, or building vehicles and stuff like that. And then I like to do. Let's take that. Undock. We can also stack them like this too. Oh, it didn't undock. As you can see, stack all saves you so much time. Yeah, it's undock. I think maybe we just need a teleport. Maybe it's gonna give us a thing now. Read details. Yeah, I think we had to. I thought we had to scan down the site. Maybe it just didn't let us scan it down because we didn't have the Greaster's Refuge would be neat, but we don't want to mess with that. Hold on, where's that? That's weird. It won't let us. Oh, no probes in launcher. Let's refit our launcher. Come on. Oh. Uh-oh. Did we just eject? I think we just ejected our. Hold on. We may have just ejected our pod. Or not our pod, but our probes. No, we still have our probes. I was gonna say I think we just ejected our probes. Okay. Watch out when you do that because if you don't have your safety on, which is here, if you click someone and you have a gun blinking like we did, that means you'll shoot them, and that would have resulted in pretty much me getting absolutely trounced this close to a base and in an ibis. Let's analyze there. And let's get this analyzed, and then once we get this analyzed, I can show you some more of the other. I believe we can move. Like it'll do. I think maybe I don't know how many more exploration missions we'll have. Man, all of these data and stuff like that. No gas. Like the gas site. Is the gas site even there? Is there even a gas site there? It might be. I'm definitely scanning right there. I don't know. Let's try these other places. Let's analyze. We're getting it says there's a gas site. If there's an easy solution, I'll feel so silly. Combat site. No, we need gas site. Let's go large and then just scan everybody. So we at least get some more gas sites on the board. Now watch out for code. Code will typically, if you do autopilot, which is the little option we have down here, just watch out because code will oftentimes just try to attack you. So just keep that in mind. You also have other major corporations like you have, I think Goonswarm, Test Alliance. I think Goonswarm typically is the one that does Udema, right? That camps Udema. I think I might be getting again the names mixed up, but just watch out because that's a pathway between Galente and. Okay, let's get all these probes back. You can get them back by recover active probes. You can just go. You can do other things. You normally just get them back anyway. It isn't really until you get drones that. You really need to make sure you press the button to recover the drones. Otherwise, when you're leaving, you won't have the drones anymore. So watch out about autopilot. And now I think, okay, so it's kind of, from my understanding, I think, because autopilot drops you off, I think 10 km from any point, right? So if you are using it to travel from gate to gate, you'll drop 10 kilometers away from the gate. Then you have to fly the rest of the way. You can warp right onto the gate normally, right? but you can and let's use this gate here. But you normally can jump right onto the gate. But if you're doing autopilot over a large adventure, right, you will always kind of do that and then have to fly a little bit, do that and have to fly a little bit. And the problem is if you can't really spec you're gonna have to spec in, if you want to spec for autopilot, you're gonna have to do both align time, which is you're aligned to warp, and you're also going to have to do speed to get over that 10 km before someone gets to you, which isn't gonna be really practical. It's just not a good idea. Also, there's a rare mineral that you guys will find in this we call it starter thing, and it's a reason why I suggest knowing where the venture is, so you can get this rare mineral or having a venture. I think you actually do get a venture first in the mission, but there are some missions that actually will have low sec and null sec, or I don't know, null sec. I think just low sec materials. Actually, hold on, let me look up. I'll bring it up. Kernite. And manufacture, research, kernite. There we go. All right, so kernite is typically it's common, but it's primarily available in low and null sec and wormhole systems. Right? There is a mission in the starter missions that will get you access to kernite. So don't forget it, because you can get free money. It's basically free money. It's like you'll get like a free almost million or half a million, like $1.5 million or something like that. I don't remember exactly the price right now, but you'll get free money by mining it. And since you're in a starter area, you have that relative safety. So you could also keep it. Wait until you get your refinery skills really good. Open up. There we go. Stack all. Now we got the Heron. Now we've pretty much completed all of exploration. Now we want to move on to the others. So another one you can do is business and industry are both good. Military is fun. It's pretty fun to do. What we're gonna do is probably I think we'll do industry to show you, because that's probably the second most. I think military is probably the most common. Industry is probably the most common. I think there's like someone they did like a statistic where like 75% of people don't ever want to get involved in null sec and low sec situations. So this might appeal to most of you then, because most of you are probably just starting out, and most of you are probably within that number. That may change, or heck, you may want to get involved in it now. What did they want us to do? Oh, he wanted us to mine, didn't he? 1,000 votes were, which is 100 M. We can do that in a. Corvette. It's not going to give us bonuses. It might take a second, but we will get a venture. Don't worry about it. But not really important to have a venture right now. Oop, it's on that. Or not necessary to have a venture right now. All right, let's go ahead and warp to location. The missions will take you just a little bit, as you can see. I might even name all these beginning streams. I might name them because I did season 1. I might put season newbie. And then move on from there. Or newbie, advice or something like that. So that they're a little clearer. We're doing starter missions. So we're going to do some mining, as you can see here. I do not recommend mining in an Ibis. I do not recommend mining in any non-mining vehicle. This is only because the tutorial will, let me do it. I will feel very bad if I run into that if I remember one mission with Kernite in it, I'll feel really bad if I don't bring a venture to it. So if you see me switch mission paths, it's because I found out otherwise. But Kernite will now watch out because there is one thing that will say like a flawed niece, and like a fool's like a cockrate, what's it called? Hold on. Let's see. Crocite, I think is. Materials. That's minerals. That's going to be broken down. Raw materials. There you go. Standard ores. No, where is it? Here, let's put it in. Crocite. There we go. Watch out for this because there is something called fool's crocite, which will be basically meaningless to you. And you may spend a long time mining. I actually got someone else to get on and they're like, oh, hey, at the starter zone, they have crocite and they have and they have gneiss. And when we started doing mining it, we're like, oh, it gives one of every material. Great. If someone out there was wanting to be a scam miner, that could be a funny way to do it, but it's not gonna really be the best thing to do. So when you're mining, keep in mind that you see how that has 460, right? You generally reprocess in amounts of, hold on. Now, actually, I would recommend orbiting around once you're mining. I recommend doing that. Hold on. Whoop. I heard a sound. Not sure what that was. It says something up here. Activities. Journal. Maybe I got enough Veldspar? Was that maybe letting me know? Someone might be saying in the chat channels. I don't want to open the chat channels because I don't know what's going on there sometimes. We'll see. Whoop. Let's open core. Okay, nothing seems to be happening. Okay. I think everything's going all right with the stream, right? Yeah, it's going all right. So, when you're mining, basically keep in mind, don't if you guys heard that, you guys might have heard that sound too. I don't know what it may have been. Oh, we're actually, hold on, we're full up. Okay, so let's go ahead and head back. Now, I don't remember if the mission ones will take you within 10 km. I think they take you within 1,000 km. They are not 1,000 km, 1 km. I think they put you within 1,000 from it. As we watch on the bottom, I know warping straight to takes you straight to it at 0. If you have to get there and fly, I think that's generally autopilot, or in this case, then it might mean this takes you. Okay, so see, as like we're at 75 km, 59, 54, 50. Okay, 50 km. Warping that way takes you to 50 km? Oh, it's close enough to dock, though. Okay. Takes you that you don't have to do anything to dock. Some people like to put bookmarks on top and below and warp to the bookmark. Don't worry about it for the starter zone, probably. I don't think people are going to... Oh, here we go. If we do this mission, we get a venture. Okay. It's to reprocess this tritium. So, ore ships, right? Not just ore the company, because in the company it's called ore. You'll see it once we have the venture. Oop, there you go. And we got most of the objective without even needing to use the materials that we we need 150 tritium in my cargo hold. So there we go. I only use scrap metal. I use scrap metal. I don't even know how I got that scrap metal. Okay, so let's close that. Let's throw that in our item hanger. Let's throw this in our item hanger. Let's throw a lot of stuff in our item hanger. And then we don't need... Oh, I'm throwing in corporation deliveries. I do not want to do that. You can get corporate hangers and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to it, but don't worry about that right now. But don't take safety for granted in this game. Think Sea of Thieves. Think Sea of Thieves. In Sea of Thieves, your safety is not guaranteed. People can, you know, attack your ship and sink you, and take your treasure. Eve was Sea of Thieves before Sea of Thieves was Sea of Thieves. And what do you call it? That's probably my best kind of analogy for that. Now, Sea of, like, obviously the difference with Sea of Thieves though is that you don't generally have a whole market thing going on. All right, so we might be able to do one more mission. I don't know. Actually, how much more time to do? Maybe one more mission. Actually, I think for the, and we'll end this particular tutorial stream. Let me think if there's any more useful information I can think of. Oh, actually, hold on. These are the creation ones. Okay, so these can be really easy. You just buy them if you want. So we can go afterburner, view market details. We don't want to just sit here and wait because we're doing a stream. So unless they're extortionate prices, which somebody is, watch out for that. Somebody's doing 149,000 for. That's ridiculous. Let's buy that one there. And still extortionist. It's 340 something % more. But you know, it's for the stream. And at least the guy, you know, whoever put that, at least wasn't this guy. That guy is hoping that he's like, I'm going to be highest price, so I'm going to be at the top, 50 quantity. People buy my stuff. No, they're not going to get it if it's 149,000. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And maybe at one point it was worth that. I doubt a civilian one it was. Let's buy it. Unless you just happen to have a streamer playing and wanting to to streamline what's going on in their episodes, I very much don't think you're going to get helped out by doing that. People are just going to ignore it. Bonus rules. And if you are going to sell it for that much, buy everyone else's. You know what I mean? Buy everyone else's, and then hold on. Let's see. Rogue drones. Okay, now we're going to run into rogue drones. So now we could keep a gun. We're going to actually just keep a gun on the thing. Typically, you just could get drones. In fact, actually, I'll show you a drone tutorial. Let's do a drone. Let's buy some drones. There might be extortionate prices here, but let's see. Hold on. I can actually just look at the drone from here, because they have their own little useful tab. Let's go to light drones. Because you might not know this, but the ore ships actually can have, like the Venture and everything, that can actually carry drones. So, cheapest one is the Hobgoblin. They have a ton at the station. Buy. You can only use 2 at the moment. In fact, actually, hold on. Do you have drone avionics? Let's buy it just in case. Worst case scenario, it's whatever. Do we have drone avionics? Yes, we have 2, so we can actually fly 2. And light drone operation and stuff like that. I think the drone skills will basically affect if you can actually fly drones and stuff like that. Alright, so let's undock. Let's change our ship actually to the Venture. Let's strip fitting of this, which will take everything off of that. And then you could insure it. We're not going to bother. Make active. I would recommend always do it. I'm not gonna do it just because. Whatever. It's good practice. I don't typically do it with these guys because I typically tend to, since I already have ships on other characters and money on other characters. Generally, an ore ship is so cheap. I mean, if you wanted to insure it, you got like this here. So like you get 17,000. We're gonna just do it, I guess, for good practice. Why not? And then go to fitting. Now watch out for your capacitor when you're setting up the fitting for your ship, because you could get in some trouble. Now this will go into the drone bay, these hobgoblins. And then we'll throw the miner here. We got another miner, didn't we? Do we only get the one? Oh, that was an award for the other one, huh? Alright, so we don't have our civilian miner either, then. Because that was, let's go to strip fitting. Let's try one more time, see if we missed it for some reason. Nope, yeah, we only have one. So I'll just throw a blaster on it. Ah. And throw an afterburner. And then throw the... And then we already had the drones in, so we'll go. Don't put too much on ventures. They can get destroyed easily. And let's, like, they are good at not getting tackled. Because people can warp scramble you, so if you try to run away, they can warp scramble you. But it's harder in a venture because you have like two warps. Like you have like two. Your statistic is basically two, and basically meaning they would have to have two warp scramblers to get you, typically. And so in the newbie zone, again, probably not going to be a problem. But trust me, you want to make sure to get that Kernite. Otherwise, you'll be kicking yourself for the rest of the game. Because I know when I first started, I didn't get the Kernite. So now let's show you how to use drones. So you open down this little drone thing down here. Go ahead, launch your drones. Now you can actually press them. We'll see in a bit. What? Oh, drones in local space. I didn't have that open. I was about to say, where'd my drones go? All right, so let's go ahead, target this one, and target that one. You can have more than one target at a time, and they're going to go destroy them for us. Now, you can also give them a command, like engage target, return, things like that. Now, we need 7,000 our cargo hold, but we actually already have 7,000 back at base. So, believe it or not, all we need to do is go right back. We don't actually need to finish the mission. Oh, hold on. Stop and recall drones. I forgot. So I'll give you a little bit of warning. We need to put the drones in. You can right click and have them come back in. You will lose many a drone that way if you're easily forgetful, like I am in this case. But my advice is mining is don't give off the idea that you're not moving, because there are groups that their whole idea is they don't like AFK concept, like they don't like the concept of anything not moving. That's just how they roll. A lot, some of those groups. So the best way of dealing with it is just don't give off the idea that you are that you are not moving. So even if you're AFK, I recommend pressing orbit. And just orbit. Because at least then you're moving, right? And they have, there's this idea that you're not just sitting there and just floating in space. Because, I guess that a lot of people have played for a long time. So a lot of people probably have way more resources than they necessarily need. And sometimes sometimes part of the fun of attacking other players can come from. Oh no! I warped right back. All right, let's go back to some fun that they get from attacking other players. They get from attacking players that they feel are doing bad habits. The closest I can think of it is kind of like an inquisition, but on gamer behavior. If that makes any sense. That's the closest thing I can explain kind of for code. Is that code is an inquisition on gamer behavior. If you agree with them, you probably really like them. If you disagree with them, you probably really don't like them. I've just never gone into the space that they go in, so I prefer to stay neutral on that matter. Because like every faction in the game, the game is more political than anything else. Like it's like by political I mean that it's you're gonna run into corporations with very different political policies. Big ones again we're gonna be Goonswarm and Test, which are in a war right now, I think. They're gonna be the big ones. And so, if by there is already something in that generally it's probably it's best not to take one off before you know who they are. So my recommendation is don't take code off by having them not know that you don't like them mining. Don't go to their system. I think their system is like up in the north, like galactic north. I don't know if you're looking at there's a map. There's basically hold on. It's basically like a if we look at the map. There's a map like this, but then there's maps online. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there's somewhere I don't remember exactly where they are that they've been operating out of lately. And so if you're going there, just preferably don't antagonize unless you're for or against with any faction. So don't mess with like if Goon Swarm catches you, just do whatever's gonna happen happens, but don't antagonize anyone until because that might be the person that you're going to be fighting next, right? And some of them have kind of I guess RPs or even just kind of like meta RPs, like in the case of Code is kind of like a meta RP. They're all acting in character with a kind of like they have like this whole prophet system of a prophet wrote about not botting or something like that. Which it's kind of funny, but at the same time it's going to come off as really annoying if you don't know ahead of time. You know what I mean? So knowledge is the game here. Because, you might end up wanting to be part of Code or something like that. That might appeal to you. So if the first interaction you have with them is show up in their doorstep, get angry about what they're doing, and then later on you're like, you know what, I wanted to join Code. Then again, blowing someone up and he was kind of like saying hello, you might not have that hard of a time. But some smaller corporations might take it personal. You know what I mean? Or just blow you up again because it was funny to do the first time. So be careful. When you're starting out there, keep in mind that a lot of times it's your first interaction with people, right? And blowing you up does not mean you might not want to help them later, because it's definitely not the end of the world if your ship gets blown up. And half of them, that's how they recruit people, is they blow you up and they see if you're going to freak out, right? So if you blow up and then you go into local chat and you're like, oh man, why did you do that to me? There was no reason, no, right? Then you're going to come off as they don't want to play with you, right? But if you go, if you're generally if you're generally cool about everything, right? You may end up wanting to be part of that faction. And sometimes, some people are out there to blow you up just to aggravate you, right? So, on one faction, let's say, like I think Udema is mainly camped by Goonswarm normally. I want to say. I don't remember, but it's like a path from. I think I already mentioned with Gilente space and Caldari space. So definitely always, if you're going through Udema, definitely always check. I might be mispronouncing the name. Always check gate check. In fact, actually, let's go to. While we have time, let's go to. Or actually, we're a little past time, but I'll show you because I think this is important. Actually, okay, so I think it's like that. Hold on, Udema. Udama. Only one pod killed, but Savala. Okay, Savala is a great example. 37 pods killed in 1 hour. 1 hour. Last 1 hour, 37 pods. That means they had to be players, pretty much. If I remember. I don't think gate guns shoot pods, if I remember. Again, I don't typically run the ganks, so I don't know. And actually, luckily enough, it's not something I've had too much, worry with, which is fortunate. Because generally, since when lately, there's been a world, like they call it World War B, I think. And so most of them are kind of in other places. Now, you'll see Code show up in places, right? Because they're not involved in the war. You'll see other factions, like I think other factions that kind of like being pirates. But as you can see, as we're going through the map, a lot of people haven't been really dying. But then if you go to somewhere like Delve right now, I wonder actually, hold on, let's go to Delve. Delve's a region, I think. I don't think it's a specific, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Delve's the region. If you look here, 30, 35, 36 pods. Bunch of stuff going on there. Which you might want to, you might end up wanting to help, because right now it's, I think, Goon Swarm and Sweat and Test, but I think they have sub corporations, these alliances, that you may want to join. So if you want to get involved in a world war in Eve, that's, one of the options there. Is that still going on, if I remember correctly, unless something's changed, at least as of last week, I think. But as you can see, lots of people died. Whereas, where we are, we're fairly safe. But watch out for pipes, I think is technically the technical term. Oh, I think we have some avoids. So Saval is a hot zone. Sherlock. And watch out for trade. Now, some of them are low sec. As I mentioned, I was going to mention low sec. So like this here is high sec. It's anything up to down. Everything from 1 to 0.5 is high sec. If once you get to 0.5, you're the lowest possible you can get in high sec, and you should probably treat it like low sec, because that might be right where people are wanting to camp, people either leaving or coming into low sec, right? Then you have, like, this is a low sec, for example. This is low sec, and that has a lot of kills. So that what's happening is this looks like a pipe right here. By that I mean is there's one way in, one way out, right? And it's just going from one area to the next area. So someone's going, whoop, this is, trying to get around some other way. Let's go back over here. They're like, hey, I can't, I don't want to have to go, let's see, around some other way, right? So I'm going to go through low sec and through here. So they're hiding there. So if you don't want to get gate camped, don't go through, check the map. That's your number one tell. Also, don't carry a high value, because sometimes you might have no one die there, but you're the first because you were carrying millions and millions of stuff, right? And so you became worth it. Generally, I think until you... let's show actually a condor real quick. I know this is mostly a newbie stream. We're a little bit past over our normal time, but I kind of really want to get newbies. I want to help them out. I don't want them to get frustrated. I don't want them to hate factions. That they may want to help out later and then end up going, hey guys, when I yelled at you, when I was being kind of a jerk, that kind of thing. I want them to have to do that. I want them to have a natural transition into how they want to play. And I think that this is the best way to do it. So let's say I'm trying to think of a ship that they might do. If you're on one of these industrials, if tier 1 industrial, you're a target. Just note that you're a target. If you're a tier 1 industrial, because with a really small ship, right, they can still alpha you, which means firing in one volley, they can still get you, right? Whereas if you're down here, if you're in one of the larger things, right, you can't really get alpha as much. I see a lot of people flying. Hold on, not that one. Galante. If we go over here, that one I see so much of, right? Now, they can scan you, and they might go, you have nothing, so I'm not going to blow you up, right? Or they might blow you up for the fun of it, right? But if you see an obelisk, right, by a gate, and then no one else doing anything, and just an obelisk sitting there, like it didn't warp in, it's just sitting there, and there's no deaths, right? That guy's waiting to pick up something you drop. So get out of there. So basically what obelisk is doing, right, is it's saying, my friend's cloaked right now. You don't know he's there. I know he's there, right? And if you are running around with more stuff than his cloaked ship, or if I might have another friend that might warp here and get you, right? If you're having that more stuff, then I'm here to pick up your stuff, basically. So if you see this guy, the obelisks, pay attention whether they are sitting by the gate or moving through. If they're moving through, they're either someone who's just got an obelisk, right? Or got a large freighter, right? And they're like, you know what? I'm going to go around and through high sec, and I'm probably safe. And they might be. So following one would be a good idea. In fact, I got across the entire galaxy of Eve. I did all, like, with Druum there. In one day, I think I did all of in one day I traveled back from Minmatar space, because I had done all the starter missions with the exception of Amar, because Amar is kind of getting was dangerous kind of at the time. All the way through Udima, I got through Heck, I got through a lot of other like areas, right? All the way back to Caldari space, and the way I did it was by following freighters, and if they died, I went another way. In fact, actually, a little bit of a disclaimer: there was someone who got destroyed that I was following, and I went to check Z kill board to see what was happening. So consider it like intelligence gathering, right? But I didn't know what the things on the right were, and I accidentally complimented him getting destroyed. So to the ganker out there, I accidentally said, you did a great job, and you probably did an okay job. I don't know. But sorry to the freighter, because I didn't mean to make, add on to insult to injury. I don't know. But I accidentally let the like, basically, on the poor person who I was using as my... I call it the penguin strategy. Because we got all the penguins on like an ice block, right? Right? And then the thing is, if they want to make sure something is not in the water, they generally nudge the other ones off into the water, and if that one dies, they're like, I know I'm not going in that water, right? I'm not going to jump in that water because that's dangerous water. You got transport ships like this up here, but you got blockade runners and things like that, all kinds of stuff. Blockade runners, are a thing too, but we'll worry about that later. But what I'm trying to say is, penguin strategy is sit back, see someone who's got something more valuable than you, go through. If they don't die, if you don't see it change, right? If you're watching the map, right, and this doesn't change, depending on how long you want to wait for it, right? If you're like, okay, it's still gray, nobody's died. I checked Z kill board, nobody's died, or gate check. I could check gate check. It's like nobody's died. So me in like a ibis, because I went on my way back in an ibis, because you want to have nothing. You basically want to come. I liquidated everything I got from the starter quest. I liquidated it all, right? With Druum, right? Absolutely liquidated it, right? Because I was like, I want nothing that they want. And then that way, and I ended up going through low sec to avoid. I don't know if I went through Udima. I think I avoided it. I think I went to low sec to go around. I think I avoided Savala. I don't remember. Yadama or whatever it's called. But if you're going through that path, if across the galaxy, which you can do with jump clones, but unfortunately I hadn't, for some reason, I never researched Infomorph. Why? I don't know. It took me forever to realize that I could do jump clones. So I was like, when I wanted to go and do all the starter missions, because I realized I could do all the starter missions, was a thing, and I was like, I can get my relationship up with everybody really fast, right? Which you'll lower the others through derived, right? So basically, I was going from, if I remember quite exactly, Heimatar, I want to say. You have to go through Galente space. So this is Galente space here. Verge Vendor, Seek Liaison, things like that. I think I was in Heimatar. Somewhere here. And I don't remember exactly, but I went from one starter zone to the other, right? So basically, I was able to do Galente one and do the Minotaur one. Didn't get attacked all the way there, all the way back. No trouble, because I paid attention to where things were on the map, right? You can do it too. Just be careful. Don't carry anything from system to system that you're going to get destroyed. And if you want something freighted, don't freight it yourself. Go to research contracts. Or use contracts. I think it's maybe just Omega. I don't know, because I'm Omega now, so I'm not sure if it's only an Omega thing or not. Go to contracts, my contracts, or contract search. Create contract, right? And then you can do something like making a contract, right? A hauling contract for, so we can look at contract search. Let's look at all regions, public. Let's just do high security search. So as you can see here, tons of ones, right? Amara and Jita tend to go between each other, so that's why I said Amara space can be a little bit, Caldari space can be dangerous too, but it feels like Amara is low. My experience with it is there was way more danger around me. Watch out for these, because that means, someone owns it. But generally, you can make one. If you want it that bad, pay up for a contract, because that way, if they get ganked, someone else is getting ganked, not you. You know what I mean? It's a little bit cowardly, but that basically you're paying someone who that's their whole thing. If you are just starting the game and you are going to freight tons of stuff, which I've done, right? But only like one system. But if you're going to carry stuff farther than one system, like we're talking about across the galaxy, or you call it, just get a contract, because there is someone who's already at the end of the game, right? At the end of all the progression, that will gladly do it, right? Will gladly take it for you onto the other side of the galaxy, right? As long as they're well paid, and it doesn't seem like you're just waiting. You're gonna wait on them, because what people sometimes do is they set up gank contracts, and when you get there, you blow them up, get the collateral, and stuff. But the reason why I say that is because if you get blown up, you don't get any of your stuff. Like that, you only get insurance on your ship. Basically, it's a total loss, right? But if you have a contract out, there's collateral. So if they screw up carrying your stuff, right, you get paid in the collateral. So generally, that's a good idea, right? Generally, if you aren't sure you can safely go, right, and they don't get the reward, right? So that is the way to go. Courier contract, or contracts are the way to go. Put out a contract, because if it gets blown up, you at least get the collateral, right? If you don't, if you are, let's go back to the contract page real quick. If you are carrying it yourself in the start of the game, where you don't have all the ship movement stuff and like all like the ship movement and the line time equipment and all like that, if you don't have the equipment, don't carry it. Just like mining. If you mine stuff, don't refine it. Just sell it. Buy the materials. Because other people are probably refining it for at a much more efficient rate. In fact, actually, let me show you right here. I don't know if I still have any more feldspar. Hold on. I have enough to get maybe one little thing here. This guy has no mining stuff equipped, right? As far as I know. Unless it's at least not much. Hold on. That's the wrong thing. Let's remove that. So look how much we're losing. We're losing literally half of it, right? There are people that have skills that get all the resources from it, right? So if you sell it, they'll be willing to buy it, right? But if you mine it down and you have no use for it because you have no blueprints or something like that, and then try to sell it, you're selling half the ore, basically. And then you could go and compress this here. You compress ores, but you can't compress. I don't believe you. I've never tried to compress minerals. I don't believe you can compress minerals, but you can compress the ores for better travel, and compressed ores, which can sometimes be free at free ports, will sell for more. So don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into the trap of refining all your stuff, unless you're doing it just for like these starter quests, where it's like we're dealing with such small amounts it doesn't matter. We have we have some, like you see, like how you can get bonuses and stuff like that, but we have a 50% efficiency. Actually, we might have a decent percent efficiency. I don't remember. I didn't think I got any mining stuff on this guy, but because I've just been setting him up for combat. But I hope that's been educational for you guys. I hope you've learned. Again, this is mostly geared toward new people. I'm trying to help you out. I don't want to see you guys get ganked. And if you guys get ganked, be courteous about it. Generally, they might be your friends. And, in a year from now, you might be ganking people with them. So, so be courteous to everyone you meet, even if they're insulting you, because they might just be trying to see if you're going to react. And, as soon as you don't, they either don't get what they wanted from insulting you, or they don't, recall it. Because there's something called salt farming in EVE too, which is just trying to get people's reaction. I think that's in any video game. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found it educational. This one was a lot more talking than doing, because it's kind of a tutorial. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys, I have one other thing is if you start a corporation, take all the shares, take all the shares and put them on the character that you want to keep your stuff on. Don't leave them in there, because that's how you get your corporation taken. So take all the shares. All right, so I'll leave it there. I think this ran much longer than normal. I hope you guys have a good one. Hope this was educational. Hope to see it flying around. If you see Omar here, and if you see Druum Lucassen, or if you see anyone from the Lucassen Corporation, give them a hi. It could be one of my friends, or one other person in the corporation with me. But the we call it, and we might say hi back. We might say hi back, depending if we're paying attention to logo or if we're talking in corp and stuff like that. But we call it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you guys. We call it going around and having a good time. All right, see you guys later. All right, bye.